Hello and welcome to another Driven Catalyst live stream. If you are just logging on for the week and realizing, hey, wait, I haven't seen any other live streams this week, you are exactly correct. We're logging on for the first one here on Friday. Things have been hectic at the office, so it has been a quiet week online as a result. But we are going to do New Music Friday. And that's a promise. We're actually going to be circling back for an album that came out end of May. Yes, this is a May 30th release I'm going to dive into, but I have a new release as well. I'm not going to get as in-depth, but I did listen to an EP. It's about 10 minutes long from an artist, Rin for short, link down below. I really liked it. Every song felt different to me. I think it's like a four song EP. Fun music. All of the music feels like it could kind of fit into the Forever 21 Gossip Girl era of music and media. Kind of grimesy production wise too. I had a lot of fun with it. Feeling Good and You're the One are my faves from that EP. So I think I just have the Spotify EP linked below. I can find Rin for Short's Bandcamp. But as usual, I have the Bandcamp for the artist that I'm talking about linked below. Okay. There's two more songs too that I listened to that are newer releases. I listened to Pest, which is from Orla Gartland and Tommy Lefroy. I love both of those artists. I didn't realize they had a song together. It's from Orla's new album that I haven't talked about yet. But maybe I will do another circle back New Music Friday at some point, because it is no longer a new music to talk about on Friday. But Orla Gartland, great artist, and Tommy Lefroy, both faves. So that's a great song. And then this one, so it's a song from a new kids show, from what I can discern. It's a show called Jam Van. I know nothing about it. And I can't promise you that it's a kid show, but the marketing for it is giving kids show, and the name, if we're being real. It's a Brandi Carlile song, and I did cry. So happy June. It's a 2-minute long song, and it's called One Sacred Thing, and it's just so beautiful and sweet. So those are the new releases that are kind of standalones that I listened to, and then now I'm going to dive into the album. And Shura, artist that I have not listened to before, but hey, I hate to say it, we shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but we can be intrigued and interested in the cover, right? So this is a situation where I saw absolutely ridiculously beautiful album artwork, and could basically just tell based on the internet vibe of the Instagram profile of Shura the artist that, hey, I'm probably going to be picking up what you're putting down. And I was exactly correct. So that's the album art. This is the album we're going to be talking about today. It is the May 30th release. I Got Too Sad for My Friends from Shura. And I'm going to do a little artist background because I don't know. To me, that's the flavor. That's what I have to offer, is that I can sift through the Wikipedia pages for you. I can deliver them. I can give you this information. Because otherwise, really, why are you here for me? Let's dive in. So, a standout quote from the Wikipedia page is, Shura's music has been described as infectious but melancholy electropop, as well as slow-burning synth pop, but has said that pop music didn't represent her. The singer has said that missed opportunity, regret, nostalgia are some of the main themes in her work, which is funny because that kind of is giving one of those super convoluted, verbose Spotify day list names. You're going to be listening to Missed Opportunity, Regret, Nostalgia mix today. And we will. I'm going to really tell you about the ins and outs of this album because I really loved it. I really did love it. And full disclosure, this is a little bit an album that I would have been willing to purchase just based on the album art alone. One thing about me is I do love music, but just as much as music, I love great design. I love really appealing visuals. I don't know, like I just love album art, and this one really scratches an itch for me. Can we just like really get a round of applause for the armor, the like knight in shining armor, but with the ripped jeans, and we're like probably in one of the most scenic areas I've ever seen. And then we're gonna doodle on top of that. We're working with like this like washed blue and green, grassy green color scheme. It's mossy, and then we're gonna incorporate a neon orange. We're adding neon orange doodles. So good. Like, I don't know. I love the aesthetic of this. And then we've got a Becca Mancari feature on the album, as well as Helado Negro and Cassandra Jenkins. I'm making sure I'm getting all the features. Yes. Okay, cool. And this is a 38-minute and 38-second album. That's fun. 3838. Let's dive in. First track is called Tokyo. And if you're a Julian Baker fan, then you already have a song saved to your liked songs called Tokyo. This one is probably, I would say they're equal partners in that they're very good. Sorry, that was me vamping, trying to find my notes. Let's really talk about Tokyo now. Okay. Songs that start quaint and stripped and then fill out and stack on themselves are just so insanely beautiful to me. And in terms of starting out an album with a song that does that, I think that's such a cool choice. And I just immediately was like, okay, I'm all in. I was here for the visuals. I've scrolled on the artist's Instagram. Like, I know a little bit about the artist at this point. I got background from the Wikipedia. And then what? You're just going to give me a song that starts out quaint and stripped and then fills out and stacks on itself? You're going to give me a song with woodwinds? Yeah, I'm locked in. I'm sorry. Here we go. Then we have some ooze in the background, like the harmonizing of that, the way it all, like almost in a round, like when you sing row, row, row your boat on a car trip and then everyone else joins in and it becomes cacophonous. Imagine the like really beautiful, like, I don't know, maybe we're in like Glasgow version of that's Tokyo. Folksy, crying in the backseat of a taxi in Tokyo. It's just like a great line. I really like the woodwinds and shaker egg. And then, yeah, okay. I wrote, this is the perfect example of a song that sounds, feels like, and has lyricism telling a story that all feel very like in harmony with each other. Which is like, I guess in other words, like we've built a world and we're in the world very comfortably and it all works very harmoniously. So yeah. Banger of a track to start out with. Great. So Tokyo, from Tokyo we go to Leonard Street. This is track 2. I literally only have written just such a great vibe. Woodwinds again, insane, just so good. This kind of falls into what I describe as like ambient music, which I hate to describe in this way because I really enjoy listening to music with great intentionality and really locking in and not listening passively, which is what I feel like ambient music kind of alludes to, that it's just kind of there in the background. I don't mean it like that. I more so just mean it's like so cinematic that it almost has like a soundtrack quality to it, and I can't help but want to listen to it ambiently, because it's just so, it like fills out the space you're in and it's just beautiful. One thing before I keep getting deeper and deeper into the album, a note I have that I didn't make until later in the album, but I'm going to just lead with it. Second track in. If you like Shura, and you're watching this because you already like Shura, you will like Flock of Dimes. And if you like Flock of Dimes, hey, watch the rest of the stream and then listen to this album. Because in the same way that I'm talking about kind of this world building ambient music that is just so full and beautiful, I feel like one of my favorite albums of all time, Head of Roses from Flock of Dimes, is exactly like that. And I feel like I was very inclined to just fall so in love with this album because it fits that same kind of richness sonically. Wait, from the top two, I have the note, like, it's insane the way I feel like I can really connect. I feel like I really connected with a lot of the experience of this album. I'm going to be annoying and online for a second, and I mean no offense by this, but like when we're working with an album title like I Got Too Sad for My Friends, we do tiptoe. We tiptoe towards the word cheugy. And that feels so hateful to say, and I don't mean it hateful because I love the album. I love Shura. And I think the sentiment behind I Got Too Sad for My Friends, I want to hold space for that. And I do think the themes explored across the album and the experience that is so clear to me, like it was just so, I don't know, I connected with a lot of the heart in some of the lyrics and I feel like I can really speak to some of the experience. But at first I was like a little bit like, I don't know, is that kind of cheugy? And then by the time we hit track 7 and 8, I was like, oh crap. Oh man. Oop. Oh, I'm crying at my desk. That's rough. So I'm all in. And if I were to pitch this to you, I would say that we're dealing with kind of former gifted kid burnout type vibes, parental dynamics, self-image, and what's the word? We have some really, really fun negotiating with well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to describe the word I'm pulling for, but it's a pretty common therapy terminology that's now in circulation. Thank you, TikTok. But it's like when you feel like more than anything, you want to get out of bed and be a productive citizen and you just like cannot. And usually associated with a neurodivergent diagnosis. That is, I would say, at the heart of it. Or some sort of mental health malady. Yeah. So I would say that is another rich theme that is sprinkled across. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the lyricism is simple, but the way that it all fits together like a puzzle is it becomes super profound, right? So I was like, at first I was like, I don't know, like, is this cheugy? And very quickly I was like, hey, no, it's not. So that's that on that. And I am sorry for using the word cheugy. Keeping it pushing, track 3, Recognize. And I do want to just, I don't know, make note of the fact that Recognize is spelled with an S. So it's RECOGNISE. That is because Shura is an English singer. Can I give you any more specifics about where specifically? Oh, hey, born in England, so no. But I've noticed too, so you know me, I'm going to do my due diligence. I tried to go and read the artist profile on Spotify, and it is nothing but a very concise and profound gnome bard genius, except genius is spelled GINIOUS. So that also tipped me off to, hey, we're doing things a little differently around here. We're spelling shop with an E at the end and maybe color with a U. So with that, track 3 is Recognized with an S. super cinematic chime kind of fades us into the track. Timestamp 2, there's like random piano key clangs and shudders, and they later turn into like real piano underscoring the track in a way that made me question myself on that first note where I wrote that it feels like disjointed piano key clangs at first, and then it becomes very melodious and beautiful. Almost to the point where I was like, wait, was I just like being stupid with how I was listening to it? Or was that really like kind of a disjointed clang introduction of the piano? And I kind of needed to move quickly with my making notes, so I haven't gone back to revisit, but check my work. Timestamp is around 2 minutes, is the introduction of the piano, and it almost feels like it's abrupt, right? And then it becomes this like almost inherent part of the track, which I think is cool. Like, I love production choices like that again, it's like the choices being made sonically feel very intentional with the themes explored in the album. Also, at one point, I feel like the word that I was digging for in my brain is going to come to me, and I'm just going to scream it out like and interrupt myself. And I'm actually really hoping and counting on that to happen, but it has yet to happen. Track 4, World's Worst Girlfriend. It's 80s R&B maybe. Wasn't sure, didn't want to put a name on it, so then I said lounge vibes. And the album title is in the lyrics of this song. At that point too, I very much had already arrived at the conclusion of, okay, we're in this world. The album, this is the title track, kind of, not title track because it's not called I Got Too Sad for My Friends, but we're now kind of understanding how that puzzle piece fits into the building of the album and the message in it, I guess. And so at this point I was just like, I think probably earlier than that, but at this point I was all in. I understood. I was here, you know? I'm here. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Shura. Track 5, Richardson. This is featuring Cassandra Jenkins. Last bit of guitar as the music tapers off at the end. I just loved it. That's the only note I have. Rest assured, though, there's not a track on this album that I won't listen to again, that I won't be listening to again. This is an album that is in the list of albums that I will sit down and listen to the whole album all the way through, or have it on shuffle as like ambient music, as I said. Next track, number 6, America. I said hello, woodwinds. Okay, and then this is where we get tough, because this is the track right before the shift that I told you about earlier. We get to track 7 and 8, and all of a sudden I'm crying, right? Prior to that, some of the lyricism in America, I was like, okay, boom, we're telling a story. I understand. I'm in the world, but as I'm a lyrics person, so I was kind of like, you know what, these are not changing my life, but the music is, and the two are working beautifully together. Like I said, the message behind like what's being spoken about, the story being told, fits with the production choices. So it's this world, and they go together, and that is important. So even though I'm a lyric girl, and nothing is necessarily like life changing to me, and I have to say, at this point it's only about this song because we're about to hit 2 heavy lifters lyrically. But kind of this was almost me being like, it's okay that I don't necessarily connect with this song. You know what? That's probably what it was. Is the song is about like kind of accidentally being in America, and being in America, and you're not supposed to be in America. And so as an American, I just like couldn't relate. But I could relate to other sentiments expressed. But yeah, the lyrics and the music work together beautifully. This song was like the first that I really dug into that. and thought about it. This is the music. Okay, yeah. I wrote, this is the musical equivalent of show, don't tell, and it works. So again, it's like a situation where they're working in tandem rather than one overshadowing the other, even though I think I really did just say like the music overshadows. But yeah, I guess this was me kind of coming to terms with the fact that sometimes when the music steals the show, it's great. Because I'm someone that likes the lyrics to steal the show. Not everyone's like that. Most people aren't like that, actually. It's kind of like pulling teeth to talk to music with people. Talk about music with people who prioritize the lyrics the way I do. So yeah. Moving forward, we've got bold highlights and asterisks for track 7, Online. I have Just Beautiful written in all caps right from the start. Yeah, I wrote, oh, so soon. A total contrast to what I said about the last song and the lyrics. The story being told in this one moved me to tears. It's very profound to me. And then there is a tape at the end of presumably her mom that sent me over the edge. Absolutely insane. The song is beautiful. After this song is when I made the note that if you like Flock of Dimes, you'll like Shura. If you like Shura, you'll like Flock of Dimes, which is high praise. I adore Flock of Dimes, and I'm really excited to continue listening to. I have some albums. I have some homework to do with Shura. She's new to me, but I will absolutely be doing that homework. And then track 8, I Want to Be Loved by You, after Online. I would posit that these two are telling the same story. They work together. And that makes me sick to my stomach. Makes me sick to my stomach. It's so beautiful. Really connected with these two. Yeah, I wrote, oh, there's a pit in my stomach, but the music's picking up. It's getting jauntier. So I'm just like sick and vibing. Yeah, that's the vibe here. Really loved it. And at this point, I was basically shopping for the album online. I was like, yeah, gonna own it. Next track is track 9. It's called Ring Pull, and this is another moment where it's fun because this is an English artist, so I had to go, hey, what the hell is a ring pull? And I'm pleased to report it is like the pull tab on a soda, so like a Coke tab is probably how I would refer to it. But a ring pull, it sure makes a lot of sense. It was one of those things that when I Googled it, I felt stupid. I was like, you know what? Y'all were onto something with that. And it's called ring pull because we make the metaphor that so we start with the line something like, I heard that you have Coke for breakfast. I heard she drinks Coke for breakfast. Yeah, I think I heard it somewhere that she drank Coke for breakfast and she was a genius. And like a ring pull when it goes, like it's a pressure secret, the way the sound releases, so I get up and make my bed. I think that is actually such a cool, beautiful way to describe going through and being obligated to exist and persist when you're dealing with, golly, insert therapy term that has been TikTokified that I referred to earlier but couldn't ever put a name to. When you're dealing with that, right? The neurodivergent inability to do the thing that you are actually like clawing at the doors of your brain and body to try and achieve, right? When you're just like, oh my God, it's not that I'm choosing to be rebellious and not do this thing. It's like, for whatever reason, feels impossible. Yeah, I would say that is kind of a little flavor, a little poeticism. This is the poetic version of that. Ring pull is. This one is a drive to work bop, I wrote. And then I made note of the fact that Lane Archer is the composer, has composer credits on this. I don't know that's throughout the album. I didn't pay attention to producers and composers the way I usually like to. I should have, but I did not. But I did look up Lane Archer's website, and he has worked with some crazy names for me to see all together, because I like a lot of these artists. Like Nina Nesbitt is like a pull for me. I listened to Nina Nesbitt a lot in high school. So to see like Nina Nesbitt, James Bay, Noah Kahan, Jake Bugg, Niall Horn, Milky Chance, like, hey, hello. Yes, I see you, sir. Thank you. So that is the composer on Ring Pull. That's track 9. Moving on, track 10, we have If You Don't Believe in Love, feat. Helado Negro, and it fits the album theme perfectly. That's kind of all I have. Another beautifully rich song. I clearly was getting a little bit lazy by the end of this album. I'm sorry. Because what it is I tried to dive into figuring out some of the composers and producers, and I think I resolved to just keep tabs open on my computer. So I have Shura's Wikipedia up because there is one producer, Joel Laslett Pott, if you're looking up his formal website. And he has worked a lot with Shura over the years. So he worked on I Want to Be Loved by You, track 8. And Katie Gregson McLeod, another artist I listen to. He's worked with them. George Ezra, quite a bit. Shura, of course. They have a long history working together. James Bay as well. Gabrielle Aplin. Again, another insane poll. What it is I think these are English artists from a very particular time of music. And that particular time of music is middle school for me. Middle school, high school. But yeah, these were like coming up on my Pandora back then while I would get ready for school. And I loved these artists. So it's so funny to see producers that worked on all these different artists that I just so happen to know about, kind of feeling randomly. Lewis Watson, also from that era. I just scrolled past someone that I wanted to mention. Give it a couple seconds and then I'll move on. Huh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Okay. But yeah, so that was funny. That stood out to me. But that is why I don't have as great notes for the last 2 tracks. I can promise you I liked them, though, and that you should listen to the album. Becca Mancari, I really like. I can't, off the top of my head, name songs by Becca that I have saved, though. Kind of, I just think... Is Becca Mancari associated with Big Thief? Is that what it is? Hold on. Let's Google it. We'll do it live on air. Just because I have to know. But it's one of those things where it's like a name I see around, an artist associated with other artists I love. So it's like I see it and I'm like, I see you. I'm here. I'm excited. As soon as I clicked onto the album, I saw a Becca Mancari feature. I knew, okay, we're in my wheelhouse. I'm excited. So. I'm going to have to do further digging, and it's going to have to not happen live on air. So I did mislead you, and I'm sorry. Some things that I did think were impressive and cool when I was looking at Shura's Wikipedia, though, is that, and this is like on the personal life tab, so take it with a grain of salt or whatever. And like, I don't know, let's all be super normal and not parasocial about it at all. But her father, Richard Denton, is a pretty famous producer, television producer, documentary filmmaker. There's quite an extensive list of documentaries, all of which sound pretty interesting. Including but not limited to The Real John Lennon, Shakespeare Uncovered, Public School, a BBC television series. So, I don't know. If any of those are ringing bells for you, that's her dad. That's all my notes, though. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you had fun. I cannot recommend this album enough. Actually, go listen to all the music, maybe more so than even watching these live streams. No, I shouldn't say that. You should keep watching. This is great. Refresher, the music I talked about at the beginning, Pest by Orla Gartland and Tommy Lefroy. One Sacred Thing is the kids show song from Brandy Carlisle called the Jim Van Kids Show. Jim Van Show? Jam Van. That's my bad. And then we've got Ren for Short, A Girl's Experience. So that is what I've been listening to today and this week. I hope you have a great Friday, safe weekend, and I will talk to you again maybe Monday.